everybody, Jim from Jim's Coleus Coleus. All right, we're gonna do a little something more exciting. It's a beautiful day. We had just such heavy fog and rain. I mean, the whole nation's kind of getting their share of different weather, but we got a little bit of a nice clearing out for today. Today it's in the 70s. It's a nice little breeze. I just opened up the greenhouse. I got the fan going. So I'm going to do a quick video on my famous pots, the ones on my deck that I do every year, and I just give you a little idea, you know, just a rundown that goes through this head, the little marbles rolling around, what I see and what do I try to do every year, what do I want to accomplish with the pots in my yard. So let's go take a look. I'll show you some coleus that I grabbed from my greenhouse that I choose to put out in my pots in the back, mainly the larger planters in my back and the ones in my front. And I'm going to get to the ones in my front because a couple of my subscribers, they're pretty sharp. They are like, how come you always feature the coleus pots in your backyard, but we don't really hear much about your front yard? And there's a little reason for that, but they're all beautiful just the same. But I get better results in my backyard than in my front, and I'll get to that in a little while. Okay, so real quick, I know we just did a video in here, so I kind of looked through all my coleus. Now again, this is thinking of what I'm going to be doing outside. So I'm looking at the different coleus I have and what I try to accomplish with my pots outside. So I really just take a look at all the plants, all the coleus I have growing. You can see they're on different stages. So I really look at the colors, the size. At this point, for my planters outside, you see that beautiful breeze coming in. So I kind of look at everything I have and I decide which ones will have the best chance outside right now. And of course, that would be the larger of each type of color and variety. So that's my first thing I do when I come in here, is really just take a look at what I have. And as much as I'd love to put this one outside, it's still too young. I don't want to risk it. And I think that's already promised to a friend of mine who's a customer, but he's really a friend. So we're not going to put that outside. But I have plenty to go around. And as you can hear, we got that chipmunk. He must be upset. Something's upset him. That's sort of their warning call to the rest of them. So, but anyway, here are the pots waiting to go. So stay tuned, because over the next few days I'm going to try to get some of them potted. So this is really for my farmers market. So stay tuned. We have lots of beautiful, really beautiful coleus potting ahead. So stay tuned here, Jim's Coleus Coleus. So let's get outside. Before we go, let's really take a quick look at what you can expect upcoming in Jim's Coleus Coleus. If you're new here, what you can expect over the course of the next few weeks and during the summer and so forth. Initially, I'm going to get into my potting. Then once we get in and we get kicking in with the summer heat and the different problems that you may encounter, insects, just taking care of your coleus for the heat, what I do to make sure that they get through the summer. So plenty more to come. Stay tuned here, Jim's Coleus Coleus. Happy to have you aboard, and I'm hoping that this year I get to 10,000 members. I'm really hoping. I'm at 85, 86. I got regular membership, regular subscribers. Really appreciate it. So I really hope to get to 10,000. So if I don't make it, I don't make it. Eventually I will, and I'm really excited to hit that milestone. It means a lot to me, and the only way is for you guys pass my channel along, word of mouth. I keep hitting out these videos for everybody to enjoy. I enjoy doing them every year. You may look at overall all of the videos that I have several hundred. Each year I learn something new. Each year I have a different type of coleus, and that's what motivates me, keeps me going, and I learn a lot from you also. There's so many people, I've said it a few times, if you're a regular follower, you know where I'm going, but if you're new here, I learned so much from my followers as well. So appreciate you guys. Again, we're gonna get ready to pot our coleus, and it's exciting because it's just a lot of fun. This is what I look for, all this beautiful color. It's really a lot. It's very enjoyable, and it's a much needed respite from the stresses of daily life. It really is. So it's been a very tough few months for myself personally, with the loss of my beloved Yorkie Newton, and just my son getting older, getting his driver's license, you know, retirement on the horizon very, very shortly. So this is my respite. I really enjoy it, and I really appreciate all of you watching and following along. And real quick before we get out, speaking of fan, I had the fan outside just for the purposes of the video, but this is basically as of right now, because it's not like 80 or 90 outside, and the coleus obviously are smaller, they're more tender, so we have it on a medium setting, oscillating back and forth, and it's a tremendous benefit to the coleus. Again, keeps the oxygen pumping in, keeps insects away, just keeps things moving, keeps the temps down, because it can get very hot in here. So, and as the summer progresses, the plants will be a little older. I'll put the speeds up a little more, and then when it gets real bad, I'll have it outside like I had it earlier to really keep the air moving. You can also use it as an exhaust, but I prefer to have the air moving to keep under pest control. So, okay, just a reminder. Miracle Grow potting mixture, moisture control. If you can get what you can, if you can get the Miracle Grow either in the green bag, or this is the blue moisture control, get good quality Miracle Grow potting mixture. It really makes a big difference, as opposed to like a dollar store potting mixture, which can really have a lot of extra debris in it. It's not as fine. I do get that, by the way, for a lot of these larger planters. I'll put some of the dollar store, because the Miracle Grow is a lot more expensive. It could be $15 for this 50-quart bag, but that's relative to the dollar store stuff. But for the big giant planters, again, the soil lasts a few years. I'll mix it around, but generally I have some rocks on the bottom, and these are concrete. So rocks on the bottom, some of the dollar store soil on the mid section here, and then the top has the Miracle Grow potting mixture. Okay, so here we go. These are right now the coleus I chose to put out here. I have a pretty well developed jitters, and this was a rooting actually, one of the rootings I had inside. And of course, this, I always put a beautiful bright wizard rose or a watermelon rose Kong coleus in here. I always get a great, healthy, full coleus in this location, because I have the Rose of Sharon behind it. In the summer, that's facing east. I'm near the ocean, so that's the east. So the Rose of Sharon, once this is full bloom, provides some shade, dappled shade, still gets a little bit of sun through here, and then as the sun goes through the day, it's facing the pot, so it gets afternoon sun. I make sure it's well watered, so I get really fabulous results with this pot. So I put about 4 coleus. I usually do a jitters because I like the way they drape down. I have the colorful Kong, and there's another colorful jitters. So this I'm really excited about, because I know what this is going to look like. I've had this variety before, and they get very thin. It's almost like a chipotle, but very thin, flowing, but bright colored, bright pink fuchsia, hot pink fuchsia centers. They look really, really nice. So I'm going to separate those two. Give them some room. Always don't crowd. Give them some room. Make sure you can see soil in between all of your coleus plants, because obviously as they get older, they're going to need that room. So don't pack this. As big as this looks, don't pack it. You put one in the center and a few on the outside. So I basically looked through all of the coleus I had, and I just get an idea of what I want. Again, this was a rooting that I potted, and it's well settled in, rooted and so forth. So I'll just pop this just like that one here. That'll go in the other pot. And again, colors, different colors. This is Defiance, more of a Kong, and some darker reds. Just a nice array of different colors. These are all Kong. These are Empire Kongs, Defiance. There's a Jitters. It's a little bit more of a wider leaf. But that's the excitement of growing 600 coleus. You get such a wide variety. There's a beautiful Kong variety. It's like a Kong red, because you have the black, the pink, and the white. That's going to be beautiful. And there's sort of an electric lime. That's sort of an electric lime. Beautiful. Those are good filler, but they're very unique. Even though they're just a plain green, they have that glowing white speckle. Not white, it's actually a lighter green glowing, but they look like they're on fire. Electric. So electric lime, beautiful coleus. I may have to add one or two, but for the most part, you got 2 coleus per pot here, and I think we're good. Okay, so here we go. Again, why I like these is because they're soft. Once your coleus are in here for a few weeks, of course these have been in there for, these been here in these for a good 4 or 5 weeks. They'll pop right out. You'll lose a little soil, and you can basically separate your coleus. And don't worry, you know, if it falls apart and so forth. They're, again, my favorite word, prolific. Here I try to really get a good idea where I'm going to put them. I'm not going to put that, actually. I'm thinking I'm going to put that in another area. It's a Jitters, that's a Jitters. Now, one thing I'm really concerned about here is the squirrels. So they just come in here and they try to dig some of these up. It happens. So, okay, and then we have this one here. And just dig. I'm not putting Osmocote in here now because I already did. I mean, on camera rather, I'm sorry. I already mixed the Osmocote into the soil here. And then later on, once the summer kicks in and we're really growing and these are nice and healthy, I switch over to the Miracle Grow general purpose plant food, water soluble. I mix it into the hose attached sprayer, and that feeds. It's water soluble, so all of these get well fed, and I really recommend that. Or you can just mix it into a 2-gallon watering can or small can. Okay, so I got 2 Defiance here. So because I get great results, not good, great results here, I'm going to put a Defiance over here. Now last year I had a Colossal Marble, so I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to put a Colossal Marble maybe on the other side, see how that does. But we're going to put a Defiance here. Okay, so as you can see, got pretty good root structure already. I mean, they really grow. They're very aggressive, so they really grow. Just going to split it. No different than when I separate the Jiffy Pods. It's just a different, it's a larger example, but it's the same situation. And again, I had mentioned, people say, well, you know, what's the extra work? You're doing the Jiffy Pods and then you're potting them and now you're doing it again. Yeah, it is, but that's That's how I do it, because it's in different stages. So it's how, and also I start my plants indoors. So if I had a huge professional greenhouse where I can actually have pre-potted, trays and trays and trays of pots, I would do it that way. But here we go. We'll put this one over here, drop it in, make sure the roots are well set. Now I have this other one here. Just going to put it back into the pot. It's fine. It's still fine. It's not going to... You want to pot it as soon as possible, but you're not doing any harm. And I'm going to water these right away. Once I think I'm going to put one more here. I'm going to put one more, not necessarily in the center. I mean, not necessarily at the edge here. I'll put one right in the sort of a little bit set back. So, and realistically, based on all the years I've been doing this, I'm going to replace one or two, because the squirrels, it's just they could be really relentless until these get really settled in. They start leaving them alone. So it's just a matter of keeping an eye on them every day. If I'm sitting in my living room, I see a squirrel hang out on my deck, I'll come out and chase him. So, okay, I'm thinking either the Scarlet Kong or the electric line. What do you think? I'm gonna go with the electric line, because we already got a lot of the Defiance, and although it's a different variety, the Scarlet Kong, I'm gonna go with the electric line. We'll get a little green in the back there to bring out all the color. Okay, same principle. You see, we got some fertilizer in here ready. Same principle. Got most of the soil in the Scarlet, because it's a much more, it's a hardier, larger plant. And that's really what I want for these, especially now. So we're just gonna put this here. It's so relaxing with the birds and the chipmunks. The chipmunk quieted down finally, but we get beautiful array of birds here. And we also get seagulls. I had a heron. You see here, this happened quite a few years ago. It was actually the week that my mom passed away, and this heron came, and we were all sitting out here, my father and myself, my wife and son. No, actually, I'm sorry, it was before my son was born. My brothers were sitting out here, and this heron came and landed on the roof of my garage. And my mom loved herons, so I don't know. Let's see. Okay. So here we go. We're gonna get these some water. I gotta trim that. See, it's kind of hanging down into the. That's just gonna rot. So. And we'll trim this one here, because we got a lot of undergrowth. See all that undergrowth coming in? So we'll probably trim that one as well. But everything else good. I'm going to keep a good eye on these. Water them. Not too much, because we're getting heavy. We're going to get a thunderstorm tomorrow. Supposed to get some rain tomorrow. So, but here it's pretty good. I got the tree. I got the Rose of Sharon. They'll fail. Like I said, I'm hoping that the squirrels don't take any of these, but there's a likelihood that it'll take one or two, or a lot of times they'll dig them up. They'll just dig them up and leave them, because they're searching obviously for their nuts and so forth. So they'll dig it up, I'll see it, and I'll just put it back in. Partially, they don't usually walk away with it. Let me just clarify that. But they'll dig through here, and it's hit or miss where they'll disturb it. So, oh, I just hit that and broke it. So that happens, but I'm not really upset. I mean, it's gonna grow back, plenty. Look at all the undergrowth. So lots of color. Stay tuned here, Jim's Holiest Coleus. Be showcasing this throughout the season. And again, here is a picture of one that I did a few years ago or last year. That beautiful. It just grew so beautifully. Great color. Okay, got a hanging basket here. I'm going to do a hanging basket for my yard also. And again, we have the other pot. So I got the two pots on my deck. And I have this one here by my driveway. I always put coleus in here, about 3 or 4 varieties also. Usually colorful, jitters. And here's the pot. Last year, I grew a magnificent Darth Vader coleus in here. So I have rootings left from that, which I'm going to show you. And I'm going to do it again this year because I love Darth Vader. And I'm a Star Wars kind of a freak. And I love Darth Vader growing up. I was 10 years old when the movie came out. But I'm going to grow. I have the 2 color Darth Vaders. We're going to put them in this pot once again. Okay, and here are those Darth Vaders. There's 2 Darth Vader rootings, really large, well-established roots. We'll show you here. And here's another. This is more of a green Darth Vader, which it'll still develop some of the darker color. And I have a Defiance rooting here. I have this little Kong. There's another Darth Vader. And I have these, I forgot, I have these 2 inky fingers that I need to pot. And very important, I may change, I have these are the Lord Voldemort. So I may put these out front. This is the last of the Lord Voldemort. I don't know if Rosie Dawn carries them anymore. But this is the last of the 2 left over from 2 years ago. I had a plant last year, so I cut these rootings, and they're, you can see, as coleus get really old, if you keep coleus for years, they develop like almost tree bark. So they start getting very tough. And one thing you have to remember, if you do have that and you want to root them, they won't root through the bark as easily as the regular soft stems. You may have to trim some of the outer layer of the bark off down at the bottom if you want to root them. Just a little heads up for you, but you can see this is a Lord Voldemort, so it will come back. This will do fine. We've got some decisions to make here. And this is supposed to be relaxing, huh? I don't know. Alright, so I wanted to get at least some of the rootings in. Here's a Darth Vader. That's a nice, that's a decent pot for it. It's going to grow nicely there. Darth Vader. Okay, all right, and I mentioned in a previous video, the main reason why I don't showcase too much out in the front here is because it's in the summertime. I'm in a tourist area in Ocean County, and it's very busy out front here. Got a lot of people coming down to Seaside Heights and motorcycles and everything. So it's not an ideal place to film. A lot of times I try to film during the day, and got landscapers going all day long here. So it's relatively quiet. So good day to get these potted out front. And just to give you an idea, I have these two large plastic planters on either side of my steps. Of course, this beautiful Coleus double bucket, which is beautiful. It's really nice. It's a nice planter because it has a handle and I can bring it in. Like tomorrow when we get a heavy thunderstorm and so forth, I'll bring it in. I really just try to get as much color and Coleus that I know will grow very well here. Of course, I have the jitters. That was in one of those aluminum pots. And that was a rooting, so that's nice. That's a perfect coleus to plant here because it's already well rooted, and we popped, it's already been in soil, and we popped that right in there. I got a little colossal marble. That one I started trimming. And there's like a random Kong, like a scarlet Kong. It's a sort of an empire Kong. And that, I believe, will be, it's got a lot of pink, bright pink and white. So I'm going to say it's like a wizard rose Kong. But I just want to get lots of color. That jitters will fill up real nice. This will be a nice full planter in no time. Now over here, this gets a lot of shade. Gets some sun in the late afternoon, evening when the sun goes down. We've got a lot of trees in the front here, so generally the coleus will do pretty well here too. But I got to be very careful with the watering, and also in the front here, particularly here, I get a lot of insects because it's just cool, and I got these big leaves, and the insects just love it. So, and you know, I'm gonna kill myself spending lots of money on insect soap, spraying it out here. They get so big. I just again, if you're following along, you know I've mentioned this. I come home from work in the morning, I see a couple of leaves that are damaged, I'll pick them, they'll trim it and so forth, as long as they look healthy. But this will fill out really nicely. Some Kong reds. There's a beautiful I'm gonna say it's more along the scarlet red coleus, and there's a colossal marble, and of course a jitters variation. Hanging baskets are essential. I always have them around my house. I had mentioned in previous videos, for some reason they're not hot sellers at my farmer's market. I have to almost point them out to people. For some reason, I just don't know why, but they'll sell, but I really, again, they're not huge sellers for me over the years. I just, for some reason, so I really didn't, I'm gonna maybe grow 2 this year, and that's it. As you can see here, I had a number of them, and they're beautiful. They just didn't, for some reason or another. But here we go. This will be mine for here. And I usually do a nice jitters. Hanging baskets, jitters do wonderfully. Because they like to drape over to hang. And I really just went with some color here. Jitters, sort of like a Kong mixture. It almost has a electric lime with some Kong coloring. And of course, that's like a red Kong red. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. It gives you some ideas, and again, you can apply this concept to anything, to small pots, planters, hanging baskets, rectangular planters, what have you. So alright, so see you next week. Enjoy your work week, and I hope everyone stays well. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching Jim's Holiest of Coleus.